Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I want to keep on the topic of talking about Primarchs in the new advancement of the law. If nobody knows and you've been hiding under a rock for the past couple of months, Rogel Dawn has returned to us in all his splendid glory, and he is leading the Imperium on a brand new crusade and bringing with him a few new goodies in the form of new Space Marines. But this video is not going to be dedicated towards him or his goodies. This video is going to be dedicated towards which loyalist Primarch should return next. Now, there's been a lot of debate on this already. I have a few people that I would like to bring back. There's one in particular that I would love to bring back, and it is not Rogel Dawn. But anyway, let's jump in and let's get started. Okay, so let's start with listing the loyalist Primarchs. Who was loyal to the Emperor? So let's go through the list. We had Lehmann Ross of the Space Wolves. We had Primaris Marines of the Iron Hands. We had Vulcan of the Salamanders. Glorious Rogel Dawn of the Imperial Fist. Rogel Dawn, who is already back. We had Sanguinius of the Blood Angels. We had Lionel Johnson, sure that's debatable. We had Jagatai Khan of the White Scars. Corvus Coax of the Raven Guard. And we had Alfarius and Omegan. Now this is a tricky one, since one of them was loyal, well, apparently one of them was loyal and one of them was disloyal. We don't know who was who. It gets very confusing with these chaps, but I'm sure we can discuss that later in the video. Now, what I wanted to do now is discuss my personal favourite of returning. Well, which Primarch I would like to return, and I'm going to give my reasons why I'd like him to return, and then we can move on to each of the other Primarchs, and I can give like a nice little theory and stuff like that on how maybe they could return and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to pull this right out of the bag. I probably mentioned it in another video. I would love Lionel Johnson to be the next loyalist Primarch to return to this ongoing advancement in the story. And one of the main reasons why I would love that is because of the Lion's actual personality himself. He is a very, very difficult person. Good old Lionel Johnson. From some of the Horus Heresy stories and some of the books that we actually have on the Dark Angels, which feature him and stuff like that. The actual characteristic of the Lion is a very antisocial person, and he's the kind of person, for me, which he should have been the rightful heir to the Emperor. That's how he sees himself, as the rightful heir to the Emperor. Now, with Guilliman coming back and basically being now the heir of the Emperor, he's actually got the Emperor's sword. It's burning, all that kind of funky stuff. Everyone sees him now as basically the Emperor in all but name, and for the Lion to come in that story and see him leading the Imperium, I think that would make an amazing story. Adding to that, it would also make an amazing story, since the Lion and Guilliman, so far when I'm up to in the Heresy, I think it was Phobos. This book was called. They had a bit of a disagreement. There was this thing called the Imperium Secundus, which was set up by Rogel Dawn, because during the Horus Heresy, warp storms engulfed the Ultima sector, and they basically thought the Emperor was dead. They thought Terra was lost. Sanguinius showed up, and the Emperor Guilliman crowned him the new Emperor. The Lion showed up, and they basically crowned the Lion the Lord Protector. So Sanguinius was the Emperor. Rogel Dawn was basically the statesman. He did all like the books and stuff, and the Lion was basically like the main general and stuff. He went out. He was, like I just said, he was the Lord Protector. But something happened. Again, this is a brief spoiler warning, so if you haven't read the book, please just skip ahead maybe a minute or something now while I explain. So the Night Lords attacked this beacon, which was I think it was Necron-Tech, if I remember, if I recall correctly. Well, it was hinted at as Necron-Tech, which basically gave you the ability to teleport anywhere. It was very, very funky and weird. Anyway, the Night Lords attacked it because they wanted to use it for their own means. The lion was off just trying to hunt curs, just nothing else, and Curs tricked him. Curs was nowhere near where he thought it was. Anyway, the beacon was destroyed, and Rebute called the lion in, and in a fit of rage, he basically banished the lion. He's like, "Get out!" But before he did that, he actually broke the lion's sword over his knee. He snapped it, snap, right over his knee, and then banished him, which I thought was very, very, very cool, and also very good for the story as well, because like I said, the lion is a very antisocial person, so the way he took that wasn't really the best, to really, have a failing and see his brothers failing as well. Made it very, very, very interesting. So he was banished, and of course, you know what happened during the Horus Heresy. The Horus attacked Terra. He more or less killed the Emperor. Well, not killed the Emperor, but the Emperor's on the Golden Throne now. A lot of things happened. The Lion went back to his planet of Caliban. Luthor was basically psycho. Caliban was destroyed, and then the Lion was basically lost. Well, people thought he was dead, but the Watchers basically carried him into like a little secret place, and I think he's like been in kind of a coma ever since. Now, maybe he could come back. I don't know if the Watchers would do a ritual or whatever they would do to actually wake him up from whatever slumber he's in. Maybe he's just like in stasis or something. It's not really hinted at what he's actually in. It's just that the Watchers took him away, and he's remained there ever since. I don't think he's awake, because if he was awake, he would obviously probably be trying to break out and stuff like that. I can't see the Lion being held as a captive. That wouldn't really suit his character, because he is very, very smart and tactical and stuff like that. So let's say he wakes up and stuff, and he actually comes back into this actual story himself. He wakes up, he sees Guilliman as basically, like we said before, the new Emperor, and it would be very interesting, because I would like it to then go that he should be the Emperor, and he challenges Guilliman, and maybe that brings on well, not the Horus Heresy, but maybe like another Imperium Civil War 2.0, because then you'll have like Guilliman with all his successor chapters, with the Ultramarines and all the successors of them. Then you'll have the Dark Angels with all their successor chapters, signed in with each of their Primarchs probably. Then you may have a split down, all the other chapters siding with either the Lion or Guilliman. And I personally think, would make a very, very interesting story. It actually may bring back that, the Imperium's fighting amongst itself again, and the whole galaxy erupts into war, and then you've got the Xenos threats and all that kind of stuff added on top of that. I think that may make it very, very interesting, and a bit of a great story to actually advance it. So that's who I'd like to come back first, and of course the next Primarch who I would want to come back is glorious Rogel Dawn. Now, Rogel Dawn is a tricky one. In the old lore, it was basically stated that he died, and his full body was encased in amber upon the Phalanx. The Phalanx is the Imperial Fist main ship. It's this huge starfort. I mean, absolutely huge. But the new lore, I think this is from Sentinels of Terror, you actually see it on the screen now, is that Rogel Dawn's body was not found. Only his one of his hands was found. Now, of course, no body to me means no Primarch confirmed death. Now, but the hard thing is in this is that, where is Rogel Dawn then? Where is he? Did they capture him? Can you truly capture a Primarch? Well, I know a Primarch's been captured before, but it was another Primarch which captured and held him, and we'll talk about that later on. But could really like an army of people really hold down an actual Primarch? From some of the stuff that I've read, what Primarchs can do, I don't really think that. Maybe they could. Maybe it may be warp magic or something like that, maybe holding him back, maybe holding him prisoner somewhere. I'm not too sure, but would that then mean he could be corrupted? Hopefully not, because Rogel Dawn is the most loyalist of the Emperor's sons. That's just my opinion, by the way. So for him to be corrupted and stuff like that would really break my heart, and it would probably make me go on a personal crusade and wipe out every last GW rated staff. So don't do it. Just kidding. Another theory could be that maybe he's in the Imperial Palace and he returned to his father's side just to stay with his father, just to be there and just to basically protect him. You know, he's stood aside the golden throne, not moving, not doing anything. He's just there waiting for maybe the next attack or the final attack on the Emperor. So he's there to give his life or just protect him one last time, because he failed to protect him when they teleported aboard Horus's ship and stuff. I know he was very, very down about that. He like went into his pain glove and tortured himself because he thought he failed the Emperor and stuff like that. So maybe he returned to the Emperor's side to finish off his duty and just stay ever watchful. But then again, maybe that wouldn't make too much sense, because there's so much stuff happened between them, like the whole Beast Arises series when Terra was threatened and stuff. Surely Rogel Dawn would have made an appearance there. And actually, on that subject of Rogel Dawn and the Beast Arises series, I actually mentioned this in the previous video, is that there was a really funky conversation in that book series, because it was Vulcan who was alive. He was basically the last Primarch alive during the Beast Arises series. Well, he was the last Primarch. Well, I think he was the last Primarch alive during during the Beast Arises series. And he was having a conversation with the Imperial Fist chapter master of then, and the Imperial Fist chapter master did something really cool, and you know, he destroyed stuff, and the salamander Vulcan turned around to him and said, "I will make sure your father knows of what you've done." And like the Imperial Fist was like, "Make sure? What? My father's dead. What does he mean?" So that was really confusing for me from a reader's perspective, because surely Vulcan would know that his brother would have died, and yeah, that was really, really weird. And I think like the Black Library writers and stuff like that, they know something, and they're trying to leave breadcrumbs for us to follow. And I think this was like one of the breadcrumbs for us to try and follow, and maybe we'll piece it together. And you know, he is still alive. He's just somewhere else at the moment. And as I just said, then maybe Vulcan actually knows. But yeah, that's it for Rogel Dawn. I hope he does come back. If he did come back, actually, this is what I forgot to mention. I've just been going on about how he could come back. Where would he fit in the actual story? I actually think he would follow Guilliman. I don't think he would try and be the Emperor or anything like that. I think Dawn's duty is to the Emperor himself and protecting what the Emperor's built. And I think he would respect Guilliman to let Guilliman go on the crusade, and Dawn would, you know, join him and stuff like that. I'm sure he would have his own opinions and stuff, but I don't think he would be on the Lion's level to try and challenge him for the position of you know, leading the crusade or anything like that. I know Guilliman and Dawn did clash heads when Rebute was writing the Codex Astartes, but they made up and they're all friends after that. So I don't think they would really have any issues at all. It would be really, really, really amazing though to maybe see Dawn come back as a crusading Dawn. So he maybe wears black because his father's death, because he used to wear gold. Now he's wearing like black polished armor, and he's maybe just leading a huge army of Templars who are not Codex compliant and stuff like that. And he's just like, I am the avenging son, and you know, something really, really cool. He's just out to avenge his father and what, you know, all the stuff that happened and all that kind of cool stuff. I personally would think that would be an amazing story as an actual Imperial Fist fan, a Black Temple fan as well. I think that would really, really, really be awesome to see Dawn just let all his anger out and just charge into just hordes and hordes of heretics and just watch them all get wrecked. It would be absolutely amazing. Anyway, let's push on and let's talk about some more Primarchs. Now, on the topic of actual Vulcan, which we just left, let's just actually move on to Vulcan. Where is Vulcan? Now, in the Beast Arises series, again, this is some big spoilers, so if you haven't read the Beast Arises series, I would probably skip maybe a couple of minutes ahead until we're talking about another Primarch, because I'm got to go into full spoiler mode here. So this is your final warning for that now. Right, so in the Beast Arises series, the full galaxy was invaded. This mass invasion of orcs happened. They had like this teleportation technology and grav technology and stuff, and they were just smashing everything apart. Actually, Terra came under siege from one of these grav moons, and it was like wrecking everything and stuff like that. They managed to destroy it and stuff, but then they went out and they started to search for Vulcan, because one of the old Inquisitors said, you know, there is still one Primarch out there, and it's Vulcan. So they went, and long story short, they found Vulcan, and they brought Vulcan back, and then Vulcan said, okay, to solve this, we need to attack the Orc central planet, which was, lo and behold, it was Ullanor. The Orcs had reconquered Ullanor, and they had made the planet into a huge Orc stronghold again. Just advancing on with the story very quickly, they managed to siege Ullanor. They landed on Ullanor. They broke through, and then they went into where they called it I think it was a Prime Orc. He was basically the leader of the Orcs, and this guy was like a size of, like, I think it was like described as like a hablock or something. He was just huge. He basically made like war bosses look like children to him. He was just super huge, just huge, massive thing. And him and Vulcan basically had this duel. He said to all the other chapters, "Get out of here now! Get out of here! You know, while we destroy this." And he fought the Orc, and him and the Orc like went into like this energy thing, and basically the Wa embraced Vulcan. If I get this right, it's he felt like the Orc, you know, the inner beast of the actual Orc, and he actually let him take his body, and then that was it. It just ended there. And as a reader, you thought, okay, so he killed the Orc, and and Vulcan was maybe sacrificed himself for that. But the thing with Vulcan is that he's a perpetual. Well, he was a perpetual. I don't know if he's still a perpetual now. That is the thing. In that story, I really don't know if he was an actual perpetual then. For people who don't know what perpetual is, it's basically someone who, when they die, they just come back. There's a story called Vulcan Lives, where Vulcan was captured at the Istvan drop site massacre, and he was taken. I think it was it was Kurz. I think Perturabo built the prison for him, and Kurz was the prison warden. So that's not really a fun thing to have, having Kurz as your prison warden. And Kurz was just torturing him basically day in and day out. He was killing him over and over and over, and Kurz was getting so mad that he actually couldn't kill his brother. Every time he killed him, he came back to life, and you know, he burnt him to death. One of the really funny ones is where he stabbed him with a spoon. he was like sat at a dinner table, and he stabbed him with a spoon, and like shanked him with a spoon and killed him with a spoon. It was very funny. I thought that was one of the best Primarch deaths, death by spoon. And yeah, anyway, he escaped from that. He KO'd Kurz. There's a really cool scene with his hammer, and he smacks him in the head with it and stuff like that. Go read the book; it's amazing. But yeah, he's basically a perpetual, so he can't really die. But something happened in the Horus Heresy where he got this, like, I think it was a thunderbolt of energy. I think what the Emperor did, which was lodged in his chest, which it killed him, but didn't kill him, because the salamanders took him back to Nocturne and they dumped him in a volcano, and he came back to life with his thing still stuck in his chest. But in the Beast Arises series, that thing is not in his chest. It doesn't describe that it's in his chest at all. So I'm not too sure if he is still a perpetual when the Beast Arises series was going on. Hopefully he was, because we really do need Vulcan. Vulcan is an amazing character. He's the only Primarch I feel who actually cares for humanity. I don't mean like the Primarchs don't give a crap about humanity. I mean like he actually puts the needs of the humans first, instead of like some Primarchs would say, okay, let's bomb that hab block over there because it'll wipe out the enemy, and it will, of course, the people who are still loyal will die for the Emperor, and someone like Vulcan would be like, okay, no, let's not do that. Let's go in and save as many human lives as possible and stuff. That is basically the Salamanders and Vulcan. They're they're there to care for the actual humanity in that sort of way. So I would welcome Vulcan back. How he would come back, I have no idea. I know in the lore it states that once you find all the artifacts or something, it would lead it would actually lead the Salamanders to Vulcan. I think they found, was it 7 artifacts? Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was 7 artifacts, and I think they found 5 of them. So maybe, if they find the other couple of ones, then maybe they can reunite with Vulcan wherever he is. I know Vulcan just wanted to walk away from the Imperium because in the Beast That Rises series, he basically explains that the Imperium changed too much. It was run by the High Lords, who he didn't really feel like he didn't feel like he had a place in the galaxy anymore. So he just went off and built something for himself, like just on his own, just to stay out of the way and live. Well, try and live an actual peaceful life. It was actually kind of sad in a way, but it was actually really, really interesting as well. It was actually really interesting and sad to see that during in this series of Beast Arises, that he was named as like the last remaining Primarch, and he was like, well, I'm the last. Well, he never said that, but as a sense, as the reader, you got, wow, he's the last. It's a very, very sad and emotional story that there's no one else like him now in the universe. Well, there's his evil traitor brothers, but they're not real like him since they're all demons and stuff. But yeah, it was a really interesting story. I'm just rabbling on now, aren't I, about Vulcan and that bloody story. You should really go and read the Beast That Rises series. It's a fantastic series, by the way. So let's move on and let's speak about some actual other Primarchs, and I think the next one we should speak about is let's see, Jagatai Khan. Yeah, Jagatai Khan, the White Scars. The White Scars again. I actually love the White Scars. I think my legions slash like first founding chapters go the Imperial Fists, the White Scars, and the Space Wolves, and we'll talk about the Space Wolves after. Good old Jagatai. So Jagatai Khan, he disappeared because he was chasing, I think it was Dark Eldar who raided his home planet, and he got sucked into the webway, and that was it. We never saw him again. Now the Imperium and the Eldar are kind of bro-fisting together now. I would I would think that the Eldar would maybe want to return him to the Imperium. Maybe they know where to find him if he's in the webway and stuff. That's if he's not dead or anything. I don't really know what happened to him when he was in the webway, but I'm surely they would know where to look for actually Jagatai Khan, or maybe giving the like a general direction. Maybe he's over there somewhere. That's where that kind of stuff goes and all that kind of stuff. I really don't know how the webway works. I think, well, a little people know. Well, not a lot of people know how it works at all, but I'm sure if anyone could find him, it would be the Eldar, who, like I said, are friends with the Imperium now. So maybe he may come back at some stage. Again, it wasn't ever confirmed that he died. He just got lost in the webway. So hopefully we'll see him come back very, very soon and unleash the White Scars. The one thing about the White Scars and Jagatai Khan during the Horus Heresy is that they were very free spirits. They didn't really follow the Imperium's rules on a straight line. For example, the the act of Nicaea, where all psychers were banned and stuff, the White Scars didn't follow that at all. They basically said no. We're not doing that. We're free spirits. This is us. When the actual Horus Heresy was going on, it took people so long to actually find the White Scars and inform them of what was going on, because they're basically like a stealth, like hit and run force. They hit you and then they're just not there anymore. Not like Alpha Legion-esque, which is more infiltration. They're basically, you know, they're there 1 minute and they're there not the next minute. So it was very I thought it was very amusing, like when people were trying to find the White Scars and inform him. Like Dawn was like, "Where's the bloody White Scars?" and all this. It was kind of it was actually really kind of funny. So I hope they have that kind of freedom when they come. Well, if they come back, where Jagatai Khan's like, "Well, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I'm doing this for the good of myself and the Imperium." Maybe he may even break off from the Imperium. Maybe he'll come back and say, "You know what? I don't like what you guys have done over the last 10,000 years." Because that's one of the things that we haven't really touched on, is that I'm sure most of the Primarchs will come back and they'll be like, what the hell have you done? I know, and I actually know Rabute was saying stuff like that. Yeah, I think the quote was something like, "We should have burned in Horus's fires," then of what we've become and stuff like that. It was very cool. That's probably not the quote, by the way, but you know, I'm just trying to sum it up. So maybe he would be like, you know, screw this. I'm not following this crap anymore. We're doing our own thing. Seeing a bit. I don't mean like set up his own empire or anything. I'm just saying, you know, he won't follow the orders of what these High Lords or anything. I'm sure he would work with Guilliman, because I think he respected Guilliman. I don't think he had anything against Guilliman, if I remember right. But I'm sure he would actually work with him. Okay, moving on. Another Primarch which could return. Of course, I'm sure this is somewhat well, most of the people's favourite Primarch is Lehmann Ross. Now, Lehmann Ross, in the old lore, and I don't think it's been changed that much, he basically left to go into the Eye of Terror to search for, I think it was a tree, if I'm not mistaken, which could cure the Emperor. It was like a tree of life or something, so he just went. He took like his closest people and he went off to find the tree, and that was it. We never heard from him again. There was been contact with some of the people who were lost with him. If I remember correctly, I think it was the Wolfen. They basically came back as Wolfen, like all hairy and wolf kind of people, and that leads to the theory that if Lehmann Ross did come back, would he be Lehmann Ross as we remember? Would he come back as this feral creature of some sort? Because that's what one of the bad things about their gene seed was, is that they were plagued by people. Their followers would lose their sense and just go into like a battle fury and turn into like a rabid wolf and warrior and stuff like that. And so maybe because he went to the Eye of Terror, maybe that pushed on that gene flaw of his, and maybe he actually turned into a wolf in himself, and he's just like a beast, just rolling around, just killing everything and stuff like that. Maybe that's what he is now. Hopefully not, because, well, I say that, it could be kind of cool to see that, like a very furry Lehmann Ross come back as like a huge beast and like just killing like all the traitors and stuff like that. But then again, could you really sit down and have a conversation with him? Would he really know what's going on when he's just like taken by battle lust and he just wants to go around killing and stuff like that? Would he then come back and would he follow Guilliman? I'm not too sure. I don't think he would want to try and take over like the Lion, but he does have problems with authority, Lehmann. So I'm not too sure he would take kindly to Guilliman telling him what to do. Of course, the only really person he listened to was the Emperor. He respected the Emperor. He loved the Emperor. So for Guilliman to come along and say, "Okay, I'm in charge now," I'm not too sure how that would really affect him. I really do hope he comes back, because again, like I said before, the Space Wolves are one of my favourite legions, and yeah, it'd be very, very cool to see Lehmann come back and fight in the end times, as he stated that he would do. He would return to his sons in the end time. So it'd be very, very interesting to see him come back. And of course, Magnus is back now as well. Magnus is back in his demon form, so maybe they'll have a duel 2.0 again and start throwing some slaps around, and we can see that. Maybe Vulcan not Vulcan, maybe Lehmann Ross comes back as his Wolfen form, and of course Magnus is in his demon form, so it's like the fight of like the monsters or something cool like that. That would be very, very nice to see, and of course it would make for a great little read. Who else have we got now? Coax, of course. We've got Coax. So Coax, he disappeared again. He disappeared into the Eye of Terror. The backstory for Coax, this is going off the old lore because, of course, I think they may change this in the new lore because a lot of things have changed. So Coax Legion was basically wiped out at the Dropsite Massacre. He managed to escape. The Emperor gave him the means to rebuild his legion, but better. So he basically gave him, like, okay, you can make super marines, which basically that we have now with these new Primaris Marines. But I think these were even better than Primaris Marines, if I remember correctly. But the Alpha Legion stole it and replaced it with like this evil sample. And when he used it, his sons that he used it on turned into like mutated sons. They were still loyal and stuff, but they were like, you know, like really, you know, like humpback and like, well, I don't mean humpback, but you know, they were very, very different, and it was not good. But apparently, well, what happened in the lore is that at the end of the Horror Terror scene stuff, the sons were in so much pain, and he basically had to kill them all. And this made him very, very upset, and he just was like, nevermore, and just vanished into the Eye of Terror, and that was it. We never saw him again. That was Coax. He was gone. He was never seen again. So again, there's no body, so he could come back. How he would come back, I would be very, very interested to see. There would have to really be something out there for real to make him come back. Because why hasn't he come back in all this time? Maybe the Emperor's threatened or something, and he wants to be loyal to the Emperor, make sure the Emperor doesn't die or something like that. Maybe his chapter's about to be wiped out and he comes and saves him or something like that. Maybe he's just had enough and he just comes out the Eye of Terror and says, okay, I've killed enough, I'm back now. And he rejoins the Raven Guard to lead them. But again, if you guys have got any theories or any ideas on that, I would love to hear them. But I've really got no stonewall approach on how he could come back, and or like, you know, what's he been doing for the past 10,000 years in the Eye of Terror. I know time is different in the Eye of Terror, so it may have been like a couple of 100 years for him, but it's 10,000 years past in our time, so that'd be very, very interesting to see, and I'm sure it would be welcomed by a lot of Raven Guard fans, because I know a lot of Raven Guard fans. I don't really come across a lot of Raven Guard fans, and when I do come across them, they're extremely loyal. They are like some of the most loyal fans you will ever meet. So I'm sure they would welcome their glorious Primarch back into the picture. And we have the Alpha Legion Primarchs, Alpharius and Omegon. Now again, I'm going to say something very, very spoilerific here, so please skip ahead a couple of minutes if you don't want to hear this. Please skip ahead. Now this is from Praetorian of Dawn, by the way. So Rogel Dawn kills Alpharius. That is confirmed. Alpharius is dead in the Horus Heresy now. If you read Praetorian of Dawn, he basically, I think he chops like his head off with his fucking chainsaw blade. It's amazing. It's in a really, really good scene. But he is dead. He is definitely confirmed, officially dead. The author has said, no, that was really Alpharius. He is dead. He is dead. Dead. He's dead. So where does this leave Omegon? Was Omegon loyal? Was Alpharius the loyal one, trying to do stuff to stop the traitors? It gets very, very confusing. But all we've got now is Omegon left. Now I don't know if Omegon's loyal or not. If Omegon's still alive, apparently it was rumoured that rebooted Guilliman killed Alfarius, but we, of course, now we know that that wasn't Alfarius. Maybe that was Omegon he killed, or was it Omegon? This is the thing about Alpha Legion. We have no idea what the hell is going on with the Alpha, with the actual Alpha Legion. So I'm stuck on that one. If he does come back, or if they're still alive, who knows what side they're going to be on? Are they going to be loyalists? I have no idea. There was a theory out there once that Janus, the first Grand Master of the Grey Knights, was actually Omegon, but that got through out there because we actually found out who Janus was now. Really cool story, I won't spoil it for you, but go and check that out. But yeah, I have no idea about Alfarius and Omegon. Well, I know about Alfarius, he's dead. I have no idea about Omegon. Is he loyal? Is he still alive? No idea, but I'm sure, hopefully, that may get explained to us at a later date in something, because I'm sure they may do the book or tell a story where apparently Guilliman kills Alfarius, and we know Alfarius is dead, so it's probably Omegon. So who knows, brothers? That is a very, very, very strange one, and I think that would take too much of the video to try to explain. Okay, do you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to wrap this up because I think I've been speaking for like nearly 40 minutes now. So we have, well, honourable mentions. Let's end it with honourable mentions to Ferrus Manus, who is definitely not coming back because he has no head. Sorry, Iron Hands fans, your Primarch. I cannot see him coming back at all. He has no head. I know like Horus had like his skull on like his throne or something, so he's like even got no skin. He's dead unless like they put a robot head on his body. If they find his body, I don't know where his body is, so I don't know what's gonna happen. Well, I know what's gonna happen. Ferrus Manus is nowhere coming back. And of course, Sanguinius. Now, we had a really interesting video we posted a couple of days ago about Sanguinius, about the rumours and stuff. Personally, I don't think Sanguinius will come back. I want him to stay dead. I know the inner fanboy in me is like, come back, Sanguinius, come back. But I want him to remain dead. I think his sacrifice made the Blood Angels what they were today. His psychic death shock, the Black Rage and stuff, has affected his sons all the way till today. And I think, his actual sacrifice himself, where he put a chink in Horus's armour so the Emperor could finish the job at the cost of his own life, is very, very noble. It's a very, very noble thing. And, for him to come back, I think that would betray that story arc. So, hopefully Sanguinius stays dead, and, yeah, he actually doesn't come back. That is that. Right, do you know what? I think I'm just going to call it that because I've been rambling on now, guys. I'm so sorry if I've bored you with this. This is a new thing I'm doing, by the way. I'm trying to just speak about lore and stuff. I really do enjoy speaking about the lore. In my TeamSpeak server, on my Discord and stuff like that, I'm always speaking about the lore. I'm a really big lore person. I try and get involved and listen to the audiobooks as much as possible, and I just want to share some of my thoughts and stuff, and I hope you guys are enjoying some of these new videos that I'm doing. If you don't, please let me know, so and I'll stop. But if you do enjoy them, then please let me know and I'll do more. Hey, so yeah, thank you for watching, and I shall see you all very, very soon, brothers. So have a great day, and see you now. Bye bye.